Hello, my name's Juliette Foster and you're joining me at the Camberley Theatre, where tonight marks the opening of the Surrey Heath Literary Festival. This is the booklet. The man who actually organised this is the incoming mayor of the area, Dodds, Councillor Tim Dodds. In fact, Tim, tell us a bit about this. What's the ethos behind it?
Well, the ethos is really to make people read, is to add a cultural event into Surrey Heath, is to join the library and the theatre together in one major event for kids, for adults, and generally to entertain, to make reading a pleasure, and to expand knowledge, really. I think that's about it.
Do you feel that perhaps people don't do enough reading, that perhaps we're too dependent on the television and the radio, etc., to hear our literature?
No, we don't do enough reading. I get a book, if I get a book that I really enjoy, I'll read it till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. If I get a book that's sticky, then that will be 2 pages a night until eventually the book finds from the library get so great that I return it and I've never read it.
But you're actually taking over as the Mayor of Surrey Heath on Wednesday, in fact. But so it's an interesting way to actually launch your year. What are your ambitions for this event going forward?
I'd like it to be a regular event, and I'd like it to be expanded. I think Trish Washer, the theatre manager, has plans for it for next year. I would like us, if at all possible, to have enough support from everybody within Surrey Heath that we can afford a big name next year to attract people. At the moment we've started small. We've made 1 or 2 little errors.
Well, you said small, but local authors, which is quite important, giving them a profile as well.
Yeah, we've got some local authors, we've got some national authors, we've got one woman, Hayley Long, who's coming up north, staying overnight, and she's actually going to give a talk to Collingwood School on Friday to about 30 of the year 7 and some in the 6th form who are keen to polish up their English. So she's excited by it. I've been to see Collingwood College. They like it. It's free. They don't have to pay anything.
Well, that's the other important thing to stress as well, that it is free, because for a lot of people there is this concern about money. These are austere times in which we're living.
Absolutely. So we've got our pricing, hopefully makes it easy for people to come. It's £5 for each event, and that's the highest price. Concessionary price for kids and others, and for seniors, £3.50. So, what's not to like?
There's a lot there to like. I mean, you've mentioned some of the authors who will be taking part, but I also understand there's a man who had some pigs, and he wrote about keeping pigs. What's the story on that?
Oh, right. That's Matt Wyman, who's written a book called Oink, My Life with Mini Pigs. His wife is a high-flying lady and likes to populate the home when she comes back with nice little animals, and she decided mini pigs would be a good idea.
As opposed to cats and dogs.
Yep, and she's dumped some mini pigs on Matt, and Matt, being an author, is a stay-at-home person, so he looks after the kids and the house and the dogs and the cats and the mini pigs while writing. But the mini pigs are sort of taken over his life.
And of course all will be revealed during the festival, so we're not going to actually reveal how they've taken over the life. But there's also a nod to celebrity, because I understand that we're going to be living the life of the Hellraisers.
We are. Robert Sellers is here, and Robert Sellers has got a new book out, and it's I think it was reviewed in the Weekend Press, was it?
That's correct,
Daily
yes.
Mail.
Yeah.
So he's an important person. He knows all the scuttlebutt, all the naughty stuff about all of the stars and from history right up to date.
Well, I've read the book on Hellraisers, and there's a lot of dirt, lots of it. But thank goodness our author didn't actually live the dirty life, so that's very good. I mean, to move from celebrities to vampires.
Oh yes.
There aren't any vampires in Surrey Heath. It has to be stressed.
No, I can't. What's the author's name? I have to.
Well, it's Whitby Vampiric.
Yeah, Whitby Vampiric, and it's Simon Clark.
Yeah, there you go.
Simon Clark is hugely well known in genre, which is
horror stories, vampires.
Yeah, horror fiction. He's written numbers of books, hugely well regarded, very interesting. Horror is a particular kind that kids love, but also adults. So they find it stimulating. So it's really taking you out of your everyday life. You're going to something else completely different.
Well, trust me, that is completely different. But you have understated this a little bit, because you said we're hoping to get get some big names. Now, come on, it's a real coup to get Nigel Farndon. Now, he's the author of The Blasphemer, the book that everybody is talking about. How did you persuade this man to break away from his day-to-day job as a columnist with Daily Telegraph to come over here with this immense book behind him? He's got a formidable track record, so a real coup to get him.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think he just thought that it was a new literary festival, and he'd been chosen as the key marketing tool and the opportunity for the whole of Surrey Heath to talk about a book and to share experiences. I think he was just genuinely pleased to be chosen and happy to support the festival. So he came along a couple of weeks ago.
Because you met him?
I did. He's about 6'4". So you just like Juliette, I look up to you.
I'm not 6'4". Well, not yet. Oh, thank you. Say the nicest things for you.
You haven't mentioned him, but the other...
I was coming to him, but I'll let you mention him instead.
Okay, it's not Robert Sellers.
Jeremy Pullman.
And he's written a book called about the Vladimir Road in Russia.
Yeah.
And it's called
The
Road of Bones. A fantastic epic travelogue of the history of a historic road in Russia, which is 200-300 years old, which has been built in parts on the bones of people and animals and other things.
But people who actually died en route to the Gulag, because that was part of the route.
And you are interviewing, you are fronting him, you are introducing him to the audience on Saturday.
Absolutely. I will be talking to him. I will also be talking to Nigel Farndon. I will also be talking to Simon Cllr and quite a few others, I understand. Yeah, so I've been very busy as well, but nothing compared to what you've been doing, because this really has been a fait accompli. But it hasn't been done in the area before.
We do need support from within the borough.
Yeah.
If the residents of Surrey Heath want this sort of event to carry on year on year, they have to support it. It's not expensive. You don't have to come to every event. We've got a well-known local Indian cookery writer who's written 20 books. Radula Baljica lives in Camberley. She wrote the World Cookery Book of the Year in 2009. So this is a famous author. She's here, lives in Camberley, and we'll be speaking at the festival on Saturday.
But she will also be cooking as well. So
no, she won't.
She won't.
No. She's just.
I was hoping to get my lunch.
She's just. If you want some family recipes and you want to put them together into a cookery book, she can tell you the lowdown, how to do it all, how to get it, prepare it, get it published, and promote it.
Now that's quite important though, sticking with the cookery thing, because you could say that the cookery market is saturated. You've got the trailblazers like the Jamie Olivers and the Gordon Ramsays, and there are people out there in our community who are probably better than them, and they're kitchen chefs, they work at home, they cook for fun. They would love to put their recipes together and publish, but they're probably intimidated because they just think, oh well, how can I possibly do that? You blaze the trail ahead of me.
You put it perfectly, Juliette. I couldn't have put it better myself. So if anybody wants to learn about how to put together a cookery book or writing about cookery, that is the session to come to. If you want to learn about how to write with confidence, Mary B. Lyons on Wednesday evening has got a writer's workshop in the Butchart Centre. So that's the place to come to polish up your skills. Then come to items in the festival to get the new concepts, new ideas, and then afterwards run with it.
In other words, write a book.
In other words, write a book. If you can.
Well, this leads on to my next question, really. Are you planning to write a book, or indeed have you written one, or is one in the offing? Is it a work in progress?
No, I'm a blog writer. I write a blog, and I compete against the person at the top of the tree locally, and that is Paul Ditch, with his magnificent Surrey Heath residence blog. So I'm carrying on, but as mayor, I'm going to have to cut out the politics from my blog, and that will remove quite a lot of probably readers, because I can't compete with with Paul on community announcements. So yeah, I do have a book in mind, but it's not fiction. It's not a book of fiction. It's a book of, well, I won't tell you because that's announcing to the world what it is, and I don't want to be...
Right. Okay, Tim Dodds, we'll have to leave it there, but a reminder to all those who subscribe to the website, please come along and support the Surrey Heath Literary Festival. It's organised by the community, for the community, make the best of it, and support our writers. The talent is here. Thank you.